Welcome to This Week in Warframe, a series where I keep you updated on the past week of Warframe, from announcements made by DE that don't necessarily warrant their own videos to community fan art, post and update. So without further ado, let's go over D's announcements and news from the 15th of April to the 21st. Starting this week's episode off, we had update 22.18, The Beasts of Sanctuary. Now this update released Khora, her signature weapons, the Hystrix and the dual Keres, each of which can have their blueprints purchased from the market for credits, her new Dana, and Khora's alternate helmet. There was also the release of the Veldt, which is a Tenno weapon and can be researched straight from the Tenno lab in your clan dojo. For those that love the Zaws system, there are new Zaws available in Hox Anvil at Cetus, with the Safam Strike, which turns your Zaws into a Nakana and staff, the Rub V Strike, turning them into a machete and hammer, and the Dokram Strike, turning them into a scythe and hammer. There are also two grips that go along with that, with the Shattung and the Korb. Now the major addition here, besides Khora, is Sanctuary Onslaught. It's finally in the game, and you can start it by going to Cephalon Samaris at any relay on the star chart and talking to him and starting it there. Or you can just go into the Syndicate section of your World State window and start it straight from there. Now the rewards for this game mode are split in two. You have the standard Sanctuary Onslaught mode and the Elite Sanctuary Onslaught mode, each of which sharing Khora's parts, but they do separate their rewards. Now altogether there is the parts for Khora, the Braton and Lato Vandal, Ando, standard relics and pre-made Radiant relics, Captura scenes, synthetic Eidolon shards, and the only peculiar mod that made it into the live test build, the Peculiar Bloom mod. Now the objective for the game mode is simple: kill all the enemies that you see while maintaining your efficiency. Now efficiency can be monitored by the HUD icon on the left hand side of your screen, and is basically this game mode's version of Survival's life support. Now you can earn this efficiency by killing the enemies that you see, with Eximus units granting more efficiency when killed. You could also walk over static canisters located around the map, and they will boost your efficiency by 10% per canister. However, they are limited to a maximum of 4 per tile, and will dissipate as rounds go on. Now if you do want a full rundown of the update, the game mode and its specific rules, you can check out the forum post and read it there, or you can watch my individual video on the matter that goes into greater detail, each of which will be linked in the description down below, as well as everything else that I talk about here today. Moving on, we had a few hotfixes. Now due to the current bug-infested state of the content that was released, each of these hotfixes fix numerous issues that you probably haven't even encountered. And for those wondering about the current constant white screen, the loss of rewards after a host migration, and numerous more, there has been no statement made in regards to them that I have found, but you have to understand that it is a weekend over there, and they released it before they knew what they were getting into, so we have to put up with the bug-infested shit that we do have, up until the point where they release a hotfix, where a number of hotfixes should be coming out this week, just using common sense as a guide. Now for those wondering about the state of Khora and Venari, Scott made a number of posts and replies in regards to that combo on Twitter, listing possible changes, and that he has been reading feedback posts for those wondering about that as well. Now the possible changes he listed include the inverting of the first and second ability combo, where instead of increasing the damage and releasing the snared unit, it would expand the snare to nearby enemies, as well as providing a synergy between the first ability and her fourth ability, making it so upon casting her first ability against the Strangle Dome, which is the fourth ability, any units that are caught within the dome will instantly be damaged by the first. Now as for Venari, he will be looking into the lack of mods working when equipped, and removing the duration and possibly making her a permanent companion when it comes to Khora and Venari, as well as giving us the option to switch modes like we currently can now, between attack, defense, and heal. However, when replying to a tweet about the Hunter mod set, he did state that it was intentional that they wouldn't apply the bonus set advantages, but they will be looking into possibly changing that functionality in the future. There was also, according to Scott, a test build of Venari and Khora where the player could control where Venari moves and attacks, but was scrapped after the internal testers disliked the apparent micromanaging. Now Scott was also asked about the return of the Exalted Whip for those curious about that, and he replied with a straight no. Now going back to Sanctuary Onslaught, Rebecca did reply to a Reddit post that informed players that upon reaching a new zone in Sanctuary Onslaught, everything was reset except your ammo, which was intentional, but Rebecca did state that it was a valid point that it should be in there as well, and that it will be brought up in a future discussion. Also, DE Helen on the forums released a statement on why Khora's drop rates are so low. Now I am paraphrasing this for time, but they basically don't want another Oberon situation, where the parts would flow in like candy and fill up players' inventories with items they will only sell after actually acquiring Khora, and to stop this they've lowered the drop chances to what they are now, and since it does drop in every location, you do still have a chance to get it at each point of the AABC rotation. Now she also stated that DE are watching the situation and the discussion around it, and will change it when push comes to shove. Now finally, to finish up the update talk, there are numerous Megathreads on the Warframe forums where you can post your bugs and feedback in regards to anything that was released in this update. So make sure you do that if you do get a game-breaking bug. Now for those wondering about why there was only one peculiar mod released into the live build, that is because DE aren't sure on what the direction they want to go in is with the peculiar mod. So releasing one of them into the live build instead of like 5 makes the possible future change less impactful to the players. Now moving on, for Xbox players, you guys currently have a Platinum sale live on your platform, where you can save up to 40% on Platinum up until April 25th. As for PlayStation players, Danielle released a forum post informing you guys that the PS4 Warframe Casual Community tab has been returned, and if you wish to discuss anything Warframe, stay up to date on the PS4 live streams, or meet new Tenno, that is the place to do so. And to finish up the official Warframe related section of this video, the 4th volume of the Warframe comics is live, and you can either purchase a physical edition from a nearby comic shop, Amazon, or the TopCow website, or you can just buy the digital version off of ComiXology. Now as I stated, that is it for the DE related and Warframe related news. Moving on to community highlights, we have a nice Excalibur sketch by LilithSchlangenauge. I definitely said that wrong. Oberon by WildRadish. Mission on Mars by MeganLMAnime. A color-painted Mother Lotus by Sillfix. Khora by DasterCreations. My Boy Anyo on a Space Bike by Marek Bantuzzi. And for the last piece, Thrax Helminth Charger by Little Fernanda. Now that is it for this week in Warframe. If you found the video informative, make sure to leave a like. If you think I can improve upon the series in any way, make sure to leave it in a comment down below, as well as your opinion on any of the topics that I talked about here today. Also, for the future, if you do continue watching this series, the description will contain everything that I talked about in today's video, as well as future episodes, as well as a timestamp to each of the topics that I cover in there as well. Also, if you missed out on last week's episode, you can click the annotation on the screen right now, and it will take you right to it. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next video.